Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Mindful Moments. So, again, of course, there's a little technical difficulties today because I was initially doing this on my camera and I did the whole video actually on my camera. And when I went to replay it, it was in slow motion with no volume. So, I tried it again, and honestly, I really need to learn how to use that camera. I don't understand it because I filmed a couple of clips and they were fine. But nonetheless, if you are coming back to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. This I'm recording again just from my phone because it is Testimony Thursday, and I just said this whole testimony just a couple of minutes ago, but I'm gonna say it again. And I believe I'm on my iPhone, so I do think that I am looking into the camera, but if I'm not, forgive me. So I want to share another testimony, and I just went through my whole testimony, but hey, I'll say it again. So, what if this is a testimony of like something that happens miraculously, real time, type miracle? A lot of times you pray, and then, like in my last testimony video last Thursday, if you didn't see it, go back and watch it. That is more like a pray, 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 and then the Lord finally answers your prayer. This was more like a miraculous feeling. I know that the Lord lifted, whatever I had. So, and I'm changing hands. I apologize. Okay. So, what happened is back in 2021, when the virus was happening, we were living in Florida. We were trying to be super, super careful, like everybody else was. And we were doing all the things. But we ended up getting it. So we both had it at the same time, both me and my husband. And back then it was, even now it's still scary, but back then it was like, scary. You have to wait in the line, and then you have to get a text message from the health department and, letting you know if you have it, and just a super scary time. So, nonetheless, I went and got tested because I was feeling my daughter had, in her family, they were telling me that they had the sniffles and things. So, you know, we should have been smart. We should have thought, but being that she could still taste, she could still do all the things, we didn't really think that it was the virus. So we didn't think nothing of it. They had it very light. It went away. So then I started feeling off. It just started off that I was feeling really off. And one day I told my husband, we're eating dinner, I said, my eyes hurt to blink them. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, when I blink my eyes, my actual eyelids like hurt. It was strange. So I just kept on getting worse. It wasn't better, it was worse. So went, did the whole line, stayed in line, waited for the text, found out I had it. I told my husband, I said, when you come home from work, you better stop and get tested. He had it too. So I don't know about the strains now, not sure, but the strains back then, from what I hear anyway, from what I experienced and what people told me, you go through a spell where you think you're going to be okay, and then like day 5 or 6, it goes downhill. So it went downhill for us pretty quickly. We had fevers. We had very different symptoms though. So we both had fevers. I had a cough, and I had, intestinal issues that were super scary. but won't go into them. But they were super scary. And I made it a point not to Google, not to ask any questions, because I wasn't going to give myself that added anxiety. Because at that point, you know, it was at that point in the time where you don't go to the hospital because you don't want to go, because, you know, they can't really do anything for you anyway. So I was just, you know, going to pray it out and, you know, pray it out. So my husband had more of just body aches and just like fatigue and things like that. I couldn't eat, period. My appetite never went away from me like it did during that time. I couldn't eat. It was the strangest feeling. I can't even explain it. Like when you're sick, you're not so hungry typically anyway, like when you have a normal cold. This is something completely different. It's almost like your hunger just goes away, which I guess it would be good from time to time when you're not sick to feel that. But yeah, that was strange. But my main symptom that gave me the most anxiety was this feeling on my chest that I couldn't breathe. Now I had the oxygen meters. I was doing that. I was making my husband do that, even though, you know, he's not a good patient, so he didn't want me to check him, but I was checking him, of course, because I'm worried about him more than me. So I'm checking him and checking on me. But I had such anxiety that, I don't know, I had to take walks, you know, just to breathe fresh air, just to feel like I was having enough oxygen. So this one day, I was working from home, and my husband was downstairs. So this particular day, I just, you know, I stopped, and I was praying the whole time, but I just intentionally, that moment, I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, everything. And I said, you know, dear Lord, if you could take this pressure from my chest, you know, if you could just heal that, please, Lord, if you could just take that away from me to help me to breathe clearly. All of us, right then and there, I felt something lift. So it lifted off of me, and that pressure was gone, 100% gone. I was sick. I was, you know, I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to get here and lie. I still, you know, I still had the virus, but that feeling that was like an elephant sitting on my chest, boom, it lifted right there at that moment. So I run downstairs. My husband, you know, he looks at me like I'm crazy. Well, he does that a lot. I'm just kidding. But, you know, I could be a little kooky. So, you know, he's probably thinking like, oh my goodness, what is she going to say now? And I told him, you know, I said, I prayed and the Lord healed me. And he's looking at me like, okay, Bobby. And I told him, I'm like, no, I'm serious. I can breathe. And I was showing him, you know, I was breathing. I said, I don't feel like anything, you know, sitting on my chest. I was telling everybody and anybody who would listen to me, you know, exactly what happened, because I truly felt it. You know, it was just right there. I prayed and then boom, I could breathe. So I still thank God for that. I will still go back and say, you know, thank you, Lord, for doing that for me that day, because I know it was the Lord. You know, I know it was, because yeah, I just know it was, because it was gone instantaneously when I said that prayer again. So, yep. So that is my testimony for Testimony Thursday. I apologize. I hope that the camera is not too shaky, but like I said, I had filmed this already and I wanted to get it out there because I want to be consistent. You see Mr. Sheldon up there? It's a little portrait, the one on top, that somebody gave me as a gift. And it says Mr. Sheldon. So cute. I just saw him up there. So yeah, if you are new here or if you're coming back, go look at my other videos, especially the testimony ones, and feel free to share your testimony. Please like, share, comment, you know, if you do have people that you know that are into, positive content. I just want to have a positive channel where we can share stories and testimonies and things like that. So feel free to share, and I will be back very, very soon with the next video. Everybody have a great night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.